Hey, what's up guys, Prodigy here, and I'm here to bring you race overview. Did you pick the right race? Alright, we'll be going over the races and their benefits and what they're best at, starting with, you guessed it, the Bretons. Bretons have a heavy focus on magicka, and they thus make very good magicka-based DPS or healers. The cost reduction of magicka abilities in combination with their mag recovery gives them excellent sustain, guys, allowing them to DPS or heal longer before needing to use a potion or heavy attack to regain their magicka. Spell resistance is also very nice and helps keep them alive longer, particularly in PvP. Now let's take a look at the passives, alright? Opportunist increases experience gained with light armor skill by 15%, increases alliance points gained by 1%. Okay. Gift of Magnus increases max magicka by 600, then 1200, then 2000. So they have a hefty boost to our magicka pool, which is good for magic builds, right? Spell Attunement. So on the max level we can get 2300 spell resistance and then 130 mag recovery. And I believe now it's changed. You don't need an effect on you. It just, you automatically get the mag recovery, alright guys? So they have very good magicka recovery and spell resistance. Moving on to one of my favorite passives, Magicka Mastery. At the max level, gives you reduced cost of your magicka skills by 7%, guys. Wow, that's a lot, alright? So they're very good at sustain, and they have a great magicka pool. These guys are good healers and good damage dealers for magic users, alright guys? That's about it though. Next one up is the Nord. Nords are very tough to kill, and should be considered by those that wish to tank as their primary role for those that wish to PvP, as extra physical and spell resistance goes a long way, making you super tanky. The increased ultimate regen is also ideal for both of these, since ultimate abilities often determine the victor in PvP, and it can really improve your effectiveness in group content. Let's take a look at the passives. Reveler increases experience with two-handed skill line by 15%, increases duration of any consumed drink by 15%. I think they changed that. I don't think there's the drinks anymore. But the hand-to-hand skill, yes, two-handed all the way. Stalwart increases your max stam all the way up to 1500. And when you take damage, you gain 5 ultimate regen. Super good, guys. The max stam, right? For tanking, for moving around, for dodging. And then the ultimate regen, that's super good, guys. Super good. It's very good on a DK. Then the passives they're known for. Rugged, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 2600. That's a lot of physical and spell resistance, guys. It does make them super tanky, okay? And if you want to be a tank in PvE or PvP, Nord is probably the race you want, okay? Between the ultimate regen and the physical resistance, it's just so good. Such a good choice. Next, we got the Khajiit. Yes, the kitty cat. Although he doesn't look like a happy kitty cat. The Khajiit racial passives are a bit of a mixed bag. Really facilitates any kind of play, though perhaps not quite as good as some other races. Being harder to detect while sneaking and increased chance of pickpocketing makes them really good as a stealth character. This helps with some questing, stealing, and PvP. Consider selecting the Nightblade class, definitely when choosing a Khajiit if you plan to PvP. The reduced detection range, can't talk, can make them hard to find, and they also benefit from a high critical strike chance because of their crit damage and crit healing bonus. So yeah, let's talk about it. Cut Purse increases the experience gained with medium armor skill line. Increase your chance to successfully pickpocket. So yeah, like we said, very good in PvE, guys. Very good, especially with this passive. Alright, now we have Lunar Blessings. Increase your max health, max mag, and max stam all the way to 915. So this gives them a bit of versatile feel, right? They get all 3 resources, so that's definitely good for any class, really. This next one's sort of a mixed bag too, right? Robustness, it goes all the way up to 85 stam magic recovery and health recovery. So yeah, it gives us all 3 recoveries. Another very versatile skill. But then we come to Feline Ambush, which separates them from the rest of the classes. They get critical damage and critical healing by 12% and reduce their detection radius by 3 meters. Guys, this crit damage makes them excellent gankers, Nightblades, bombers, right? PvE, a very good PvE magic attune, right? Or stamina, really. It's just such high damage. Now let's talk about the lovely Redguards from Hammerfall. Much like orcs, Redguards have a substantial focus on the use of weapons and have reduced cost. This combined with max stam and stam restoration via their attacks makes them perfect for a stamina DPS role or even a tank. Additionally, the snare effectiveness reduction is excellent to plan for a werewolf, as snares really hurt werewolves. If you know you'll be using weapons and will be stamina focused, then Redguard might be the right choice. Alright, let's break down the passives. Wayfarer increases experience gain, one-handed shield skill that further makes them good tanks. Increase the duration of eating food by 15%. Yummy. Alright, martial training. Reduce the cost of weapons. Abilities by 8%. Oh, that's pretty good for sustain, guys. Reduce the effectiveness of snares applied to you by 15%. Like was said before, it's good for being a werewolf. It's really good for being anything in PvP, reducing the effectiveness of snares. Conditioning, all the way up to increase your max stamina by 2,000. Very good stamina resource pool. That's good for any stamina DPSs or a tank, like was said before. Alright, Adrenaline Rush, all the way up to when you deal direct damage, restore 1,000 stamina. It can occur every 5 seconds. It's really good, guys, for sustain. If you want to be a stamina DPS, it's good. And if you want to be a tank, it's even better. Alright, let's talk about fish, or reptiles, amphibians, Argonians. Argonians used to be one of the worst races in the game, but they now become one of the best because of some ideal race changes, okay? If you chose to be a healer because they have increased healing done, or they also make very good tanks because of their healing increase, and their ability to regain many resources when they consume a potion. These same passes also make them one of the best PvP races in the game, since all of these things are useful in Cyrodiil. First passive, Amphibian, increase experience gain with Restoration staff line, and increase your swimming speed. So if you need to swim, pick this one. And as you can see, it's also good to be a healer because your Restoration staff increase. Next passive, Resourceful, guys. All the way up to when you drink a potion, you restore health, magicka, and stamina, and increase your max magicka by 1,000. So yeah, you get all 3 resources when you drink a potion, no matter what kind of potion it is. Super beneficial, guys. Alright, that's pretty good. Next passive is Argonian Resistance. Gain immunity to the disease status effect. Okay, super beneficial. Increase your max health by 1,000. Poison and disease resistance. Okay, so poison and disease will do pretty much nothing to an Argonian. That's pretty beneficial. And the last passive, Life Mender. Increase your healing down by 6%. The final stage. Yeah, this makes them incredible healers, guys. And this, paired with Resourceful, makes them pretty good tanks, too. So, if you want to be a healer or tank, Argonian might be the choice for you. Now let's talk about the Woody Wood Elves, also known as the Bosmer. Looking over the passives, you see that Wood Elves are more inclined to be stamina-based characters, and they incorporate some amount of stealth in their gameplay too. They can use a combination of bows, swords, and daggers and still be effective. Stealth is not particularly useful in PvE, but it is useful in PvP. And though max stamina is good for tanking, stamina recovery is not, because stamina recovery ceases while blocking, which tanks do constantly. So these put them at really good stamina DPSs. First passive to review is the Acrobat. Increase experience gain with the bow skill line and decrease your fall damage. It's pretty good for PvP, guys. And the bow skill line, pretty good if you want to use a bow, right? They are excellent marksmen. Next one is Yfri's Endurance. Increase all the way up to stamina recovery by 258. Yeah, that's pretty good recovery, guys. Free recovery. It's like I said, very good for stamina DPSers. Resist Affliction. Increase your max stamina by 2,000. Very good stamina resource pool. Another good thing for stamina DPS. Increase your disease and poison resistance. Another good thing for PvP. Yeah, sorry about this next one. It's Hunter's Eye. I couldn't fit it all on the screen, but yeah, Hunter's Eye, guys. And all the way to the bottom, increase your detection radius and stealth by 3 meters. Increase your movement speed by 5% and physical and spell penetration by 950. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, so all in all, guys, these make them, like I keep saying, excellent stamina DPSers, alright? That's about all they're good at, alright? Nothing else. Stamina DPS, Wood Elf is a good choice. The next race we're going to talk about is Orcs. Yes, the Orsimer from Hrothgar. Orcs have a heavy focus on the use of weapons, putting them square into the stamina DPS category. Their extra health and healing also should help decide to be a tank or not. Their sprint, cross reduction, movement speed helps tremendously in PvP, where you need to sprint often. First passive to review, Craftsman. Increases experience gain with heavy armor skill by 15%, increases your crafting inspiration gain by 10%. Okay, heavy armor skill, could be good for tanking. Next one, Brawny. All the way, increase your max stamina by 1,000. Good stamina resource pool, good for tanking, good for stamina DPS. The next one got cut off again, but it is Swift Warrior. And increase your weapon damage by 258 and reduce the cost of sprint and increase your movement speed of sprint by 10%. So yeah, that weapon damage puts them in a good stamina DPS category, and the fact that they can sprint for a long time and be faster. It's very good for stamina DPSs, but I guess if you want to be a tank, you could be a tank too, but stamina DPS is for the orcs. Unflinching Rage grants 1,000 max health for your pool, and when you deal damage, you heal for 2,100 health that occur every 4 seconds. Oof, that makes them super tanky in the battlefield, guys. The next race is the Dark Elves, the darkest of elves from Morrowind. Dark Elves are an interesting race because they're equally good at stamina and magicka, making them a great choice if you're not certain what to play. In addition, they're ideal for a vampire because they have extra flame resistance. First racial passive we'll review, Ashlander. Increase the experience gained with dual wield skill line and reduce your damage taken from environmental lava. So yeah, lava, go kick rocks, and dual wield, let's go. So some stamina DPS goodies right here. Next one, Dynamic, guys. All the way at the bottom, the max rank, increase your max mag and max stand by 1910. So that makes them very versatile on both sides of the field, right? They can be magicka DPS or a stamina DPS because they get both resources. Now we have Resist Flame. Increase your flame resistance by 4620. That's a lot of flame resistance, guys, right? So they take much less damage from flame, so being a vampire actually doesn't hurt you at all. Being a dark elf, you don't take extra flame resistance, so that's very good if you want to be a vampire. And last dark elf passive, Ruination, all the way increases your weapon spell damage by 258. So yes, again, this makes them versatile. They could do both magicka DPS and stamina DPS. Okay, very good. Our next race is the lovely High Elves from Somerset Isles. Just look at how smug they are. Just looking at the racial passives, you can see High Elves are more tuned towards magicka rather than stamina. This means that it's ideal to use them as a magicka DPS or a healer, because it takes advantage of the spell damage and max magicka. These type of builds use staffs and are like your regular mages in other games, so if you just make a mage-like character, High Elf is a really good choice. First passive is Highborn. Increases the experience gained from Destruction Staff skill line and increases your experience gained by 1%. Alright, so Destruction Staff skill line makes them great mages. Next passive, Spell Recharge. All the way, you can see it's a long one, but at the bottom, reduce your damage taken by 5% when you're using an ability that has cast or channel time, and restore 625 magic or stamina based on whichever is lowest. Alright, so this right here makes them just good overall magicka DPSs, right? They restore resources, and when they're using an ability, they take less damage. So yeah, one of their class abilities, so yeah, pretty good mage. Searbane's Boon, the next one. Increase your max mag by 2,000. That's a hefty resource pool for our magicka. That's another reason why this is a good mage. And the last passive is Elemental Talent. Increase our spell damage all the way up to 258. So yeah, overall, guys, with all these passives, they're just very good magicka DPSs, alright? I wouldn't choose them for any other class or playstyle besides a magicka DPS, and they're one of the best at it. So the last and certainly not least race we'll talk about is the Imperial, guys. The Imperials from Cyrodiil. Imperials make pretty good tanks, not only because of their bonus to health and stamina, but because they gain all 3 resources when they deal damage, and have cost reduction for all abilities. Tanks use both stamina and magicka quite regularly, and getting them helps out a lot. Health is just an added bonus. These same qualities make them a decent choice for PvP as well. Time to review the passives, and the first passive in Imperial is Diplomat, guys. Increase your experience with one-handed shield by 15%, increase gold gain by 1%. So yeah, one-handed shield, pretty good for stamina tanks, or just be on the defense, and the gold gain is, I guess, nice too. Now we have Tough, increase our max health by 2,000. This is good for any kind of PvP build or PvE build, gives you a little bit more max health, probably ideal for tanks, right? Imperials are really good tanks. Now we move on to Imperial Metal. This increases all the way up our max stamina by 2,000. So, good for stamina DPSs, and another good attribute for tanks, right? Now this last passive right here, Red Diamond. Reduce the cost of all your abilities by 6%. Guys, this is the most important passive of Imperials. This makes them very versatile to be anything you want them to be. Reduce the cost of all your abilities. That's all your abilities. Dodge, block, sprint, all your weapon abilities, your magic abilities, everything, guys. So they can be anything you want them to be, but I think they mainly excel in being a tank, alright, because of their max stamina and max health. But choose what you want. But yeah, that's the last of my race list, guys, going over the races with you. I hope I helped you pick the right race for your class or your playstyle. Please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.